Good morning, friends. Welcome to Gyan channel. The topic for today's class is Computer Assisted Reporting (CAR). This is very helpful for the students of Mass Communication and Journalism. So let's begin the class. Computer Assisted Reporting uh, we will further refer to it as CAR. Refers to anything that uses computers or takes help of computers in news gathering process. It has recently found great success across the country and world, but it only came because of an initiative of few pioneers in the field. CR journalism to be successful, we need to have basic journalistic reporting skills. CR describes the use of computers to gather and analyze the data necessary to write. Internet has changed how reporters work. Reporters routinely collect information in databases, analyze public records with spreadsheets and statistical programs, study political and demographic change with geographic information system mapping, conduct interviews by email, and research background for articles on the web. Collectively, this has become known as CAR. Let's discuss about history and development of CAR. Age of computer-assisted news reporting began in 1952 from the US presidential elections. The candidates were Dwight Eisenhower and Adlai Stevenson. The election was predicted to be a close one and was monitored closely by Walter Cronkite of CBS News. CBS television used a Remington Rand UNIVAC Universal Access 1 computer to analyze the early returns to predict the outcome of the election. Computer programmers had prepared formulas based on partial returns. Despite the widespread thought that the election would be close, early prediction part of computer said that Eisenhower would win by the landslide. Officials at CBS were reluctant to broadcast such seemingly impossible predictions, so they stalled for hours. When they finally broadcast the predictions, they were ridiculed for having refused to believe the computer. The age of CAR was thus born during the election. Since 1950s, computer assisted developed to the point that databases became central to the journalist's work by 1980s. In his book Precision Journalism, the first edition of which was written in 1969, Philip Mayer argued that a journalist must make use of databases and surveys, both computer assisted. In 2002 edition, he goes even further and states that a journalist has to be database manager. In 2001, computers had reached a critical mass in American newsrooms in terms of general computer use, online research, non specialist content searching, and daily frequency of online use, showing that CAR has become ubiquitous in the United States. The fields where CAR has made a mark are elections, businesses, production, and information, etc. Tools and techniques of CAR. The techniques expanded from polling and surveying to a new opportunity for journalists using the computer to analyze huge volumes of government records. The first example of this time may have been Clarence Jones of Miami Herald, who in 1969 worked with a computer to find patterns in the criminal justice system. Other notable early practitioners included David Burnham of New York Times, who in 1972 used a computer to expose discrepancies in crime rates reported by the police. Elliot Jaspin of the Provincial Journal, who in 1986 matched databases to expose school bus drivers with bad driving histories and criminal records. Bill Dedman of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution received Pulitzer Prize for his 1988 investigation, The Color of Money, which dealt with mortgage lending discrimination and lending in middle-income black neighborhoods. Professional organizations. In the last 15 years, journalism organizations such as National Institute of Computer Assisted Reporting (NICAR), a program of investigative reporters and editors, and the Danish International Center for Analytical Reporting have been created solely to promote the use of CAR in news gathering. Many other organizations such as Society of Professional Journalists, the Canadian Association of Journalists, and the University of King's College in Halifax, Nova Scotia, offer CAR training or workshops. Journalists have also created mailing lists to share ideas about CAR, including NICARL, CARL, and JAGIS L. Internet sources for CRR in India. Among many sources available from the internet for CRR, following are the most prominent. First is statistical packages, then search engines, then news agencies database in India and abroad, and government website database, and finally the Wikipedia. Uses of search engines. Finding people. Facebook, MySpace, Weibo, etc. Then social networking sites, sorry. Advanced Google search, Facebook conversations. It is not possible within Facebook. Keywords before site operator. Then social discovery. StumbleUpon. StumbleUpon helps us to discover and share great websites. These sites include those which have been explicitly recommended by your friends or one of the lakhs of websites which interest similar to you. Rating these sites which you like automatically shares them with like-minded people and helps you discover great sites that your friends recommend. Delicious. Delicious is a social bookmarking service that allows users to tag, manage, and share web pages from a centralized source. Current awareness. First is Addictomatic. Addictomatic searches the best live sites on the web for news, blog posts, videos, and images. It is the perfect tool to keep abreast with hottest topics, perform ego searches, and feed your addiction for what's up, what's now, and what other people are feeding on. Blogness. Bloglines. Bloglines is a free online service for searching, subscribing, creating, and sharing news feed, blogs, and rich web content. There is no software required to download and install. One has to simply register and start using the services after blogging on any time from any computer or mobile. An alternative to bloglines is Google Reader, which could also be exploited. Using search engines effectively as a journalist. Journalists or reporters have are on or learning how content or matter influences search visibility. There are many ways to write content to make it more findable by search engines, including being aware of what people are searching for using keywords as link, text, and so on. Search engines impact journalism as under. Firstly, traffic or readers from search engines provide important proportion of online media income. Headlines writing has become a new art and helps with SEO search engine optimizers obtaining maximum mileage through search engines. SEO. SEO, a number of studies have shown that search engines are an important source of the traffic of news websites around the web, identifying the significance of high rankings in search results. Journalists are writing to be read, and that means ensuring that their news content is found also by search engines. A series of semi structured, in depth interviews with professionals uncover trends and address issues such as how SEO policies operationalize and applied inside newsrooms, which are the most common optimization practices, as well as the impact on journalism and news content. Today, news publishers have embraced the use of SEO practices. With search engines, the Facebook cycle has become faster and accurate. Performance and performance-based pay for journalists increases if the news is optimized properly on search engines. The news text is being visible or uploaded on search engines should have a balance of commercial interest and media integrity. Now we discuss about deep searching using Google. This site search. If a journalist or reporter is on Google search site, the search function gets streamlined as a process. Next is search by file type. Official documents, government legislatives, academic papers, local council data sets all may be logged away in a website. Then you have to search by file type. Next is search by image. Searching by image, one can upload the image or paste image URL into the search box to find any relevant material or website related to the image. Next is Google Googles. It is essentially an image locator, a search by image built-in feature in Google for Android or iOS smartphone. Search by color. In the tab of image search box, there is a color tab which can be very handy for image search. Five Google platforms essentially used to create news world over. First is Google Earth. Google Maps app is part of Google Earth. It helps in mapping the planet, as well as it is used while on the road where Google Map helps to create our own maps, marking routes and waypoints with the help of voice guide and pins and locators. It started from 2012 where one saw relay of Olympic torch on map provided by Brighton Argus. Next is Google Fusion Table. Sorry. It is a go-to platform for data journalists who uses Google Maps with data. Simon Rogers, editor of The Guardian in 2010, was the first to use the program to map all deaths in Iraq. The data sets can be in the form of bar charts, pie charts, etc. Next is Google Analytics. It is used by journalists and bloggers to map and analyze site traffic in real time on mobile, laptop, tab, or desktop. The number of visits, read by likes, etc. are monitored by the journalists using this tool. Next is Google Plus. Launched in June 2011 has number of features to be used by journalists and to create public facing profile longer than 140 characters. It helps people to communicate easily with the journalists. Next is Google Glass. It can be termed as future of computing journalism. It is new technology which is to be completely understood. Meta search engines or engine aggregators. These are online information recovery tools that uses the data of web search engine to produce its own results. Meta search engines take input from a user and immediately query search engines for results. Enough data is collected, ranked, and presented to the users. Problems such as spamming is reduced and accuracy and precision is increased. The process aims to improve the concept of accurate and precise searching. Examples of meta search engines include Skyscanner, Kayak.com, and Excite. The architecture of meta search engine is as under. Social media as a news source. Social media as a news source is the use of online social media platforms rather than more traditional media platforms to obtain news. Just as television turned a nation of people who listened to media content into watchers of media content in 1950s to 1980s, the emergence of social media has created a nation of media content creators. As a participatory platform that allows for user generated content and sharing content within one's own virtual network, using social media as a news source allows users to engage with news in a variety of ways, including consume news, discover news, share or respond news, repost news, their own photos, videos, or reports of news, that is, to engage in citizen or participatory journalism and comment on news. Relationship to traditional news sources. Unlike traditional news platforms such as newspapers and news shows, news content on social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and WhatsApp, etc., allow users without having professional journalistic background to create news. Some have raised concern over authoritative reliability on account of lenient moderation and the open access element of these public platforms. Social media users may read a set of news that is different from what newspaper editors feature in the print access press. Using nanotechnology as an example, a study was conducted that studied tweets from Twitter and found that some 41% of the discourse about nanotechnology focused on its negative impacts, suggesting that a portion of the public may be concerned with how various forms of nanotechnology are used in the future. In order to compete in this rapidly changing technological environment, there has been an upheaval of traditional news sources onto online spaces. The production and circulation of newspaper prints have continued to globally decline in accordance with the increasing presence of news outlets on social media. Prominent platforms such as Twitter and Facebook have been the key in engaging users through the integration of journalistic news into their news feeds. This feature has now become a fundamentally a foundational part of these apps' interfaces. Verifying social media news sources. Social media has changed journalistic practice. Real time audience engagement has given rise to crowdsourcing content, and even reporting tasks like verification can now be outsourced to the audience. While journalism remains in essence a discipline of verification, methods of verifying content and source require constant updating and reflect impacts of fast changing digital technologies, online behaviors, and news gathering practices. Today, eyewitness accounts and visual content are among the most important and compelling tools a journalist or news publisher can draw on to tell a high impact story. In a breaking news scenario, speed is a critical factor in verifying information from social media. By identifying the originator of information or images and performing a system of checks or on both the source and the content they have shared, you should find yourself in a position to verify them as a source, providing the checks give you the required outcomes. In the content original, or has it been scrapped from previous reporting and reappropriated misleadingly? Has the content been digitally manipulated in some way? Can we confirm the time and place of the photo or video capture using available metadata? Can we confirm the time and place of the photo video capture using visual clues in the content? To find red flags efficiently, we also need to understand the different types of common false or misleading visual content. First is wrong time, wrong place. The most common type of misleading visuals are old visuals that are being reshared with new claims that what they show. Virality in such cases is often caused by accidental sharing of content that can be easy to debunk but not easy to pull back. Manipulated content. Content that has been digitally manipulated using photo or video editing software. Staged content. Original content that has been created or shared with the intent of misleading. Verifying user generated content. In less than a decade, news gathering has been transformed by two significant developments. The first is mobile technology. As a result, more and more people have the technology in their pockets to very quickly film events and share them directly with people who might be interested as well as via social networks. The second connected development is the social web. When BBC's user generated content hub started its work in early 2005, they were reliant on people sending content to one central email address. At that point, feedback Facebook had just over 5 million users. YouTube and Twitter didn't launch. Now, every minute of the day, 100 hours of content is uploaded to YouTube, 250,000 tweets are sent, and 2.4 million pieces of content are shared on Facebook. Rather than film something and send it to news organization, people shoot what they see and upload it to Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Research has shown very few audience members have enough understanding of the news process to think of their footage as valuable enough to send it unprompted to a news organization or other entity. Increasingly, at any news event around the world, there are accidental journalists, people standing in the right place at the right time with a smartphone in their hands. Similarly, during breaking news events, the audience is often more likely to turn the social networks for information, meaning first responders and emergency organizations are using social networks themselves. The importance of verification. The ability for anyone to upload content and to label or describe it as being from a certain event leaves many journalists, and particularly editors, terrified about being hoaxed or running with false content. Some people go out of their way to deliberately hoax news organization and the public by creating fake websites, inventing Twitter accounts, photoshopping images, or editing videos. People downloading content from YouTube and uploading it to their own accounts, claiming it as their own, cause other problems. The difficulty of finding original footage was demonstrated when the US Senate Intelligence Committee released a playlist of 13 videos that had originally appeared on YouTube, which they had used to look for evidence related to 2013 chemical weapons attack on East Ghouta in Syria. A number of these videos were taken from a well-known Syrian aggregator YouTube channel which regularly republishes videos from other people's channels. This suggested the videos within the playlist were not the original videos and were in fact scraps. Using a range of different verification techniques, Felin McMahon from Storyful was able to discover the original versions of these videos. He wrote up the process here. What is the example shows is that these issues are no longer just a concern for a journalist community. Verification checks. Verification is a key skill made possible through free online tools and old fashioned journalism techniques. No technology can automatically verify a piece of UGC with 100% certainty. However, the human eye or traditional investigations aren't enough either. It's the combination of the two. When a journalist or humanitarian professional finds a piece of information or content via social media or has it sent to her, there are four elements to check and confirm. First is provenance. Is this the original piece of content? Then is source. Who uploaded the content? Then date. When was the content created? Location. Where was the content created? Verification as a process. Unfortunately, people often see verification as a simple yes no action. Something has been verified or not. In practice, as described above and subsequent chapters, verification is a process. It is relatively rare that all of these checks provide clear answers. It is therefore an editorial decision about whether to use a piece of content that originates from a witness. Two recent academic studies performed content analysis of output on the BBC and Al Jazeera Arabic. They found that while these verification checks are undertaken by editorial staff and considered absolutely necessary, the results of the checks are rarely shared with the audience. We can conclude here that there are recent moves to increase transparency with the audience about the verification checks made by journalists when a piece of UGC is used by a news organization. In August 2013, BBC said that since a comprehensive study into the use of UGC during Arab Spring, the BBC has adopted news wording for all user-generated footage where independent verification has not been possible, letting its audience know what it knows. It is likely that within the next few years, a new grammar of verification will emerge, with the audience expecting to be told that what is known and what isn't. With the audience able to see the same footage as the news organizations and others and gather material from the crowd, this level of transparency and accountability is required. Gentlemen, with this come to the end of today's class. Thank you. Have a nice day.